Hi, I'm Susan Littlefield, and it's time to take a look at what's going on in these markets as we bring in Sam Hudson. He is with Cornbelt Marketing, and I love it when you called it the euphoria. And I think that's the best way, Sam, to describe. We have a new president in place, and I think there's a lot of anticipation and worry. And some of it's just kind of melted away this morning.
Well, and with that, euphoria can come and go very quickly. And so we're seeing it on the positive end right now. I think the biggest things as it relates to soybeans, I think that's where we have to start. That's where we're seeing the biggest move, at least for the board today. We've been fed this negative narrative for so stinking long that, we're going to see nothing but tariffs, nothing but bad trade. Without acknowledging in a big way the fact that a lot of those tariffs had never been really undone or changed. And so I feel like we've got as much to gain there as anything. And, we'll talk about why, though, in the short term, why nothing may stick. We've just gotten through this USDA report. The supply side can't change a whole heck of a lot. And so I think that money flow in and out is going to drive things.
What about from a dollar perspective? Because we know the wheat market definitely was reacting to that.
That's right. Yeah. Coming into it, again, we'll see what sticks, but the dollar's seen a pretty hefty correction down, about 1% here today. And so, we'll start to see what, guidance and policy and how that influences things. But it may take a little while for all of that to come out. But in the meantime, if you've got, some of these markets that have been trending for a while, fundamentals sometimes don't matter. If there's money that needs to get to the sidelines or get into or out of a market because it feels like a safe haven or doesn't, a lot of that stuff doesn't really matter. It just gets cast aside. And that's where I think we could see a little bit more volatility across the board in all these markets.
So I've got to ask, especially as we look at the way the cattle market trade so far today, are we seeing a little back off a little bit on this trade action?
Well, it's a good segue into that because from a fundamental standpoint, we got cash near record highs. Futures have been as well. But, as it pertains to that money flow, funds are very long in the cattle complex. And so, again, regardless of fundamentals matter or not, if they decide they need to get off that accelerator, it could certainly have an impact on prices as well as that cash basis. And the producer gets caught up amidst all of that.
All right, Sam, we appreciate you joining us. By the way, folks, you can catch more comments. We'll dive more in depth with Sam Hudson later on today during the channel Final Bell. And you can catch that as a podcast as well when you head over to ruralradionetwork.com. I'm Susan Littlefield for the Rural Radio Network.